All right. Well, here we are at the Perfect Fit Studio in Newport or Corinna. Okay, Corinna, Maine.
One or two ends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting. I think I'd messed that spelling up in a spelling bee, but here we are. So I'm here. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking with John Raymond. I know John as an entrepreneur. I'd love to be able to kind of get a better understanding of how your story, like right from what happened, what motivated you to do certain things, and I came up with a few questions to help drive it, but it's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm always interested in how people are able to maybe take a situation that you've been given and transform it into what you desired for your own life, and not to take perhaps what was just kind of standard default option. So
Well, thanks for having me.
yeah. Pleasure. I know that I know a little bit of what Mike had indicated before. I don't know your whole story at all, but
Probably I don't either, actually.
but he was talking about. He said like you grew up in Dover Foxcroft, and you still live in that region. And tell me a little bit about like just childhood through school, like what kids, like family.
Yeah, I had a sister. Grew up kind of poor like everybody else did in Maine.
Yeah.
Then just, I guess for me, I just figured out at a very young part of my life that I just wanted to be something, and not even be something. I just kind of wanted to have a successful business, I guess.
Gotcha.
At a very young age, I kind of would notice. My father was self-employed when I was younger. He was a carpenter, and I went and worked with him some when I was younger, and then he gave that up and went to work for E. Robinson Oil, driving an oil truck, and it was kind of like, oh, this is weird. Like, you can work for somebody, and I don't know. That was,
we're used to him working for himself, kind of billing him out. Yeah.
And I wasn't very old at the time. I was probably seventh grade, probably. I was doing roofing and carpentry, stuff like that, and just, I don't know. I was like, hey, where are we going tomorrow?
And he would drag you along and show you the ropes.
Yeah, and then it just was like, oh, I'm going to work here. I'm like, so just probably that was a trigger for me.
Yeah.
But even at that point in my life, I tell people now, like, I just kind of saw people around me and was like, I don't want to be that person.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Even my teachers, like I couldn't wait to get rid of a teacher. Or I just, I don't hate a lot of people, but like I did hate them. Like I did, like I don't know if it wasn't a control thing. It was more I didn't want to hear what they were saying. Like, let's do the subject. All right, there's a math problem, but the other stuff they would try to teach you. Like, I just didn't want anything to do with that. Like, I just like, leave me alone,
Because I'm thinking like, it's interesting, like to think, okay, what possessed you, or what's like, sometimes there's certain events that happen in our childhood that like, okay, this is the reason I said, you know what, sometimes it's like, I don't want that. Like you said, it's like, I looked around and I was like, that's not what I want. Like I can forecast out in my life, and my life will at 55, 60, do I want my life to be in that place?
In that far, I was just thinking, it took me a long time to realize, probably in late 30s, because I was always like, I never had that mentor growing up that which took me. And I had some that were very negative, a lot of very negative mentors. But then as I got older and, started my own business and started doing stuff, I was like, well, I was surrounded by mentors, because I didn't want to be them. Like, that was my fight,
I love that perspective, because a lot of times what I'll say is people are they'll be easy to blame, like someone or their parents or something for what they didn't provide them. But on the flip side of perspective, I always say, like, what a gift to say, like, that's something I don't want to repeat, or that's something I don't ever want to do for my kids or whatever, because what it felt like, or how it limited them. So I think that's a good perspective. And I think,
heard of the twin theory?
I don't think so.
Take a set of twins, and they had a very bad upbringing.
Okay.
And one twin was very successful. Was like, I don't want to be this. The other twin did nothing, was useless, and used that for an excuse.
Right.
So, there are spots in your life and things that happen in your life that can either motivate you or kick you down. I guess
Right.
I just got to figure out
It's
which way you
perspective,
want
and
to
it's
go.
yeah, it's just perspective. It's like one thing that's common about people that like end up being successful, whether it's you know, getting the desired, you know, fitness level that you want, or in a marriage. Marriages are difficult and challenging, and so how do you figure out how to become a better husband or better father, or how do I learn how to get through this roadblock in business? Like, I don't know how to get a CFO. I've never had a CFO. How do I hire the next, what's the right next hire? And like, either you look at that as a roadblock and you can call it a day, or you figure it out. And in your case, like, how did you, I'm looking back and saying, like, was there someone that influenced you or hinted that you'd end up building this business, or that helped you kind of?
No, it was more or less once I got started,
Yeah,
because I was nervous.
of course.
You know, I had a
Yeah.
regular job. I went to work for A. Robinson, just like my
Okay.
dad did, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
was driving for them. And then 1999, I got to the point where I had enough money to get started doing something.
Yeah.
The right opportunity came up, and
Okay.
I was so scared of failing.
Yes.
Like I was like, I cannot fail.
Right.
To the point it was extreme. Like I
Mm.
just wouldn't stop working. You know,
Yeah.
it was.
It was that, like, you would burn you burned the boats basically. You were like, the boats are burned. I can't go back. There's not a plan B. Yeah. So now at that time, were you married? What was the, like, a relationship?
First child, she
Okay.
was 3 months old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a 3-month-old baby. You start this new business, which was what? What was the?
Trucking.
So it was a trucking business. So you learned it from A. Robinson. You learned how to do it. You said, I can do this. I can figure this out.
Yep.
And then you have a baby girl. And how did that, like? Because I always think about, that's a hard time, as a lot of people don't see that as an entrepreneur. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like she took care of a lot of that. She did a lot of the paperwork also.
Yeah.
We built the business together, really. She
Right.
was behind the scenes for a lot of
Yeah.
it, took care of a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
It did take a big toll on my relationship with my oldest daughter.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was, just so busy. I had another daughter 5 years later, which
Yeah.
it's funny because like literally like when my oldest daughter got to a certain age
Mm.
and she was like, Papa, Papa, she always called me Papa.
Yeah.
And my oldest daughter was like, oh, wait a minute,
Yeah.
there's something there. And
Yeah.
but it definitely, probably one regret I have in my life is the time that I took from her and I.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's good now. Like she's got my first grandbaby.
I love it.
Yeah,
Congrats,
so
man.
they live
It's
right
exciting.
down the road. I was
Yeah.
successful enough to keep my whole family right in a small
It's
circle.
in
And
it's close
yeah,
to
they're right
see-
there.
these
Yeah.
girls like to stay close to home.
Oh
It's just
yeah.
boys are like,
Oh yeah. Their mama's
boys
girls
are
for
like,
sure.
see you later.
Yeah.
Like, I'm coming.
They come back, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
want to. Yeah, the
Yeah.
rumspringer we call it. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I can do this. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. But the girls, that's good. So you gotta, so that's, yeah, but that's, I think that, because I always think a lot of guys don't necessarily talk about it, but I remember, like, your firstborn, like, you're learning how to be a dad, you're learning how to figure shit out. You try, and then you add this really complex layer on top of it, which is trying to start your own business. And no one taught me how to do it. I don't have like a blueprint in front of me on how to be successful. I just know I don't want to fail. So I'm like, essentially, I'm living at the office. I'm spending way more time. I'm missing out on all these connection opportunities with my daughter, or son, in my case, son, and my wife. And that's just, I think it's just a piece of entrepreneurship, and inevitably obsessing towards some success, or to change your family tree in some respect.
Probably selfishly, I was thinking too far ahead.
Yeah.
If I'm successful, they're gonna have a good life.
Right.
The grandbabies, everything.
Right.
So yeah, you probably think I probably thought too much about that.
Yeah.
And kind of,
Agreed.
and
Yeah.
didn't probably explain that to them well enough.
100%.
Which I feel it's paying off now. I really
Agreed.
do. Yeah.
Agreed.
And there's some friction there. There's some
Yeah.
memories and stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, but it's
some darkness and pain.
But the grandchildren start showing up, and
Yeah.
now I have time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
see him.
And I think because you learn, and because, like, I think when you learn through that, I think having that perspective of the darkness, and then being able to change and recalibrate, like, where I'm investing my time. Yeah, I don't need, I can be more present when I'm at home now, and it doesn't necessarily it just means that you're just more you're there when you're there. I think a lot of times, and I wasn't really good at that early on. I was like always distracted with my
Yeah, my
business.
son-in-law works for me, you know, so that's
Oh, really?
yeah. My
Oh, nice.
youngest daughter works for me. My oldest daughter, she's
Nice.
probably gonna start doing some stuff. So, like I said, you know, in the end,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you have to sacrifice something because you know something's gonna be better than they do, but
True.
it's hard for them to
To see it
understand
through
that.
that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
again, to do it all over again.
Yeah.
I was around a lot, but
Yeah.
she doesn't remember that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's good opportunity too for, I think, for at least, once I feel like having the real conversations about, like, I think, just for my son, like having heart to heart, just saying like, really, I just want you to know that I'm sorry for certain things that I did, and I wish, but I love you and I'm here for you and all that stuff. And then once that, I mean, you can't change the past. So you just, but then they see that you're able to change and modify your behavior so that you can reconnect with them and they can be part of your life. But I think that in and of itself, because so often those things are not the case. Like, they're gone. There's no conversation. It's like, too bad. But the ego can get in the way a little bit. One of the things I was gonna transition out of that to was like, okay, you had this trucking company. At some point, you decided to step into a new business, which was mulch,
Yeah.
right? And I'm curious as to how that
Well,
happened.
I tell everybody that everything I've done, I've got fucked into because
Okay.
yeah. So the mulch side of things, so we were trucking products to other mulch companies
Okay.
and they just weren't paying their bills. So
Interesting.
we decided to start making our own.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was
That's
maybe back in
interesting.
05, I would
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
And so, were you able to acquire manufacturing or learn, or did you have to actually learn manufacturing?
We were doing that for them.
Okay.
We were actually supplying them product. We were already grinding with grinders.
yeah.
So
And
we'd
then
go
you
down
do
and help
dyes or
them.
something?
Yeah. With
Yeah.
dyes. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
We do a couple of dyed products. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you would just bring it down, and then you
Basically said if it landed in our yard, because
Yeah.
at that point we had a yard in Peabody, Mass,
Okay.
and said, if it lands in our yard,
Yeah.
we're making mulch out of it.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
And so if you couldn't pay your bills and couldn't come up with a plan,
Yeah.
but say, like, no, we can't do this, we can't do that. And
Okay. Interesting. So it just kind of it fell in your lap based on the fact that
I didn't think
people weren't.
happy about it, because it was, I say it was good income, but if
Yeah,
they
yeah.
pay their bills, the numbers look better that way than hanging on to it and
Got it.
making the product. It's
Okay.
mulch season is our only season. We got
Right.
3 months that we sell our product and
That's a
we
good
make
point.
it 12 months a year. Like you just store, and then boom.
And then you got a 3-month hit, and everything needs to hit smoothly during that time to capitalize on that opportunity. Yeah, right.
15 weekends in a row down to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And we were down some, but we actually had a pretty good year.
Okay. For the weather.
Yeah, we got some
Yeah.
great customers.
Yeah. Because June was kind of wild. Yeah. That was crazy. May and June, actually. They're right. Yeah. Yeah. Now, was there ever a point, like, so like that you said, like, what was like an oh shit moment as you entered into that mulch space where you said, this is either going to be great or this is going to fuck me?
No, I'd say not. No, it just kind of happened. We
Yeah.
probably, that first year, we probably made, 500-600 loads of mulch,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
everything that landed there, we made it,
Yeah.
the customers started coming,
Okay.
people like,
Yeah.
oh, we need more.
And they came to your facility. You weren't at that
It was
point.
people we knew.
Yeah, yeah. And you weren't at that. You were doing like bulk delivery.
People would just show up like,
Okay.
can we buy mulch from you? Can we buy mulch from you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just,
It was like just word of mouth.
yeah. And some of the guys we were supplying didn't have as much because we weren't supplying them, so it was kind of a supply and demand thing.
Interesting. Yeah. So you hit it. A couple of good economical.
Yeah.
factors.
Yeah. And we worked like dogs. Like
I gotcha.
I want to say we work harder than an ugly stripper, but you probably edited it out,
We'll see. We'll see how Mike wants this to go. But yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know any better. I've always worked my whole life. I still do. Like I
Right.
just don't know any better.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it's part of the DNA. If you're a builder and a creator, I think the worst thing to do is to sit idle. Then
Yeah, and I did for a few years, and it
Did you?
didn't take. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I didn't.
So, and then he indicated to me that that based on your last comment, you're like, you're not going to sit down and drink margaritas on the beach somewhere. That would drive you nuts. So what's raising beef and dairy cows? Like, is farming something you've wanted to do? And tell me about that whole transition.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's 2000. So basically, at my place,
Yeah.
the home farm, I call it.
Yeah.
We basically, I redid all my fields there and just made them nice. And then, I had a few people using them, and it just drove me nuts. And I always wanted cows for some reason. I just want to come home and have cows in my field. I don't know why, but so my youngest daughter showed some interest, and that's all it took.
Right.
So we went and bought some cows and got them out in the field and started learning stuff, and built all our fences. We did it all.
Cool.
Yeah, no, we've done it all. And I love it. I love learning stuff. I mean, people ask all the time, like, who built your fence? We won't come build a fence for us. And it's like, no, we did.
Yeah, I figured it out. Now, like old school style, or how did you like with the
4 lines, the figure 8 on the corner.
Yeah.
We got 2 hot lines, 2 cold lines. So we map up our whole field.
Yeah.
You map out what you want. We run strings.
Yeah.
And then we start measuring. So all the posts are, like 25 feet-ish.
Yeah.
But it might be 23 feet, 7 2/3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then so you do that out, and you drill all the holes, you get them all in there, then you run all your lines, and then you tie them all together, then you put all the power, you got to run the power lines under all the fences.
Holy, that's a big project.
Yeah, we've done quite a bit. Yeah. Awesome. But it's fun, it's hard work, but
you enjoy doing it.
Yeah, my buddy Ryan did, he probably did most of the hard work. I was in the skid steer drilling holes. Yeah. But we run the lines, the figure 8s, and actually if something happens to them, I love going out and fixing them.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't happen very often, but.
Yeah, but when you have to.
Yeah, I broke a post last winter plowing. It was the worst post on the whole farm. Like, it's the one I would have protected with my life, and I snapped that bitch right off.
Padding around and a big yellow sign.
Streets, that telephone pole you see, like, wow, can you imagine that thing? Yeah, that was
the one that you smacked down.
Yeah, destroyed.
Oh my God, that's wild. So it's just like, so you're interested in doing. You had a vision of this cow thing. So what is it? You just raise these cattle and then. Kind of
selling stuff at the house. I was selling some to businesses. They'd buy it and give it to their employees for a benefit, around Christmas time.
Yeah.
Then some people coming in, and then I started selling it to a restaurant, and then they don't pay, so it's just, I have a store now. I just opened my first store. It's Back Home Farm is my farm.
Okay.
And I call this Back Home Pharmacy because I'm doing meat, chicken, like all healthy products. Yeah.
Good. Like grass-fed cattle.
Grass-fed. I do feed them corn and stuff that I grow. You know what I mean? It's everything that I grow, and I do as best I can with that. You know, I'm not a big grass-fed fan. I know it's the healthiest meat out there for you, but it's like, so isn't liver, and I can't eat liver. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I think more importantly, it's just like having the ability to buy meat where it's not mass produced in a mass farm. It's like my wife and I talk about it all the time. It's like what we're eating today in society is like. I mean, it could get some adjustments for sure. Like we're in the U.S., like it can get pretty sketchy.
Yeah, we can talk about this now or later, but I've done a complete 180 of my life. I mean, Okay. I had a heart attack.
Okay.
Almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 51.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
Everybody said I was dead. I weren't. I could hear him. Yeah, like should be dead.
That experience, like you just felt pain in your stomach and then, or in your
It was actually at the boat races in Florida, and just all of a sudden, just my chest started burning. And I've never had heartburn in my life, so I was like, "Oh, no wonder people hate this." I'm thinking I had heartburn. It's just like it was just a strange feeling I'd never felt before. And so I was actually drinking that day. Yeah. So I grabbed a water, got in front of the boat, and was just drinking the water, and. Then probably it went away. Yeah. So I went back to my normalcy. And then probably 20 minutes later, it happened again. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, just like my body I felt it just like drain.
Like sweat? And just...
Oh, cold sweats. Just like I honestly thought I was going to shit my pants right there on the boat. So I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to shit. Like, what do I do?" Like I couldn't move. Right. Then that's when the pain hit.
And then did you fall on the ground?
No, I never went out once. I breathed right through as hard as I could breathe just the whole time. 2.5 hours before they operated on me.
Before they had to get you to shore at that time.
Yeah, they'd get me to shore. That was a fiasco. Ended up getting someone else's boat. Yeah. Got to shore. The ambulance was showing up then. It was after the hurricane down there, so 911 was actually busy.
That's insane.
We saw a sheriff on the way to the marina, and he called it in. Yeah. So yeah, I actually walked off the boat and got on the stretcher myself.
Man, I can't believe
I had to wait for them to undo it.
And you're there walking.
Yeah, and at that point, I'm 290 pounds. You know, I'm overweight. Okay. And I heard someone say, "How are we getting him off the boat?" I was like, "Fuck, that's right. I'm fat." So I got right up and walked off the boat. I literally just breathed as hard as I.
Such a lucky. That's such you're. That's a blessing that you were able to get there.
Yeah, they put everything to me. The pain didn't go away, and then they started. I mean, they didn't give me a thing. Just started.
And did they have to do surgery then?
They did a stint, 2 stints. They went through my groin. Yeah. They put a bear trap. I feel like it was on my groin. So I was like, oh my God. I go, am I being a pussy? And the guy goes, no, you're doing good. And I'm like, you're not giving me you're not gonna give me anything? Like nothing. It's triage. No, triage. Like it was like, yeah, like if I did it to you right now. Oh my. And then they stuck I'm assuming they call it a catheter. Yeah, they go. Yeah, and it felt like they were putting a sap tap in, like just grinding in like that. And I could see her twisting it. I'm like, oh my. That's when I was like, oh my God, like this, like, and they got me strapped down. I can't do anything. And this guy, I think his name is Damien, who's at the computer, you know.
Yeah. Looking at the screen.
Oh my God. I go, am I being a pussy right now? He goes, no. Like, you're doing good. I'm like, oh my God. And then I could feel the little cable going up through. And boom. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then they did the whole thing, and
I'm freaking out just thinking about that process. So, but more importantly, at that time, so you're 290, you go in, you have like essentially as close to a death experience as you can possibly have. And then what happened for you to in your head? What was the big thing for you to say, like, I got to change this shit?
You know, probably when it first happened, you know, I'm like, you can't kill me. You know what I mean? Right. Like, I was dead. I didn't even feel it. Yeah, you know, so I was probably another 8 months after that. I did good right after, you know, did what I was supposed to do. And because then you go see the cardiologist, they give you, a handful of medication you can take the rest of your day, every day for the rest of your life. So then time went on. I started just saying, all right, it was probably 8 to 9 months later. And I was like, I actually had a scheduled for a, what do they call it? Oh shit. I can't think.
Like a cardiac.
Cardiogram, but it's not. Nuclear stress test. Okay. That's what they call it. So you go in, and I was like, all right, I'm nervous.
You do a little bit of exercise and they're monitoring it essentially, or how did that?
That one, yes. So they check you first, then you do the exercise, and they check you again.
And see what.
But they put a dye into you. So they actually scan your body before and after.
To see flow.
And, and I aced it. Okay. Yeah, so it was really good, and I hadn't done that great since. And then my buddy George Masnick, and you probably know George, he had sent me a podcast with Gary Brecka.
Okay. Oh yeah. Right.
I watched that, and I was like, this Gary Brecka. So I started watching some of his stuff on YouTube, and and I'm like, this guy's a whack job. You know, like, are you kidding me? First light, breathing, all this stuff. Grounding. This guy's a nut.
Yeah. And what?
And I don't know why or what happened, but I just started doing it. I started doing the cold baths. I'd get up in the morning, I'd walk 3 or 4 miles.
So that's your start.
Yeah, I'd come back, I'd do a cold bath, and then I'd go exercise to work out. I'd go out in the sun, I'd get the breathing, I'd do the breath work and everything. And it wasn't long when I started to feel great, you know. Awesome. And then I just started pecking away at my diet and like no folic acid, which I didn't know what that was. Right. And your grains, no grains, basically, unless you're growing it and picking it and chewing it yourself. And then no sugar, no carbs. Yeah. Oh, what I do is then seed oils.
Like a high protein, like a high protein diet with other
I mean, I'm just like meat, eggs. Yeah. I eat a lot of eggs.
Yeah. Eggs seems like a really easy, healthy protein. Yeah.
Only thing you can survive on is an egg.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. It's so horrible.
I think it's always when you dive deeper into the food situation, there's always some sort of money, corporate reasoning for these huge changes in the suggestion. It is, yeah. We're going to margarine now. Well, there's a reason, or we're going to this, or we're going to sell more of this.
Well, a lot of stuff too is they have a byproduct they want to get rid of, so they market it. That's it, and it's profit, and then they're all tied together. And once I realized that the food companies, the insurance companies, the drug companies, all had an agenda. Right. That's when it snapped in my head, and it was almost anger.
Yeah.
Like I was mad.
Like I've been taken advantage of. I've been lied to. Yeah. And we trust this. We trust the situation.
Oh yeah.
Most
No,
people
you,
do.
you know, and then you look back like why I had a heart attack. I mean, my diet was ham, cheese, which wasn't cheese. It's one chemical from being a plastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's processed meats.
Yeah.
You know, pickles.
Salami.
Yeah. You know, just all that stuff. You know, that was, just living alone, and I'd take 3 pieces of cheese, some ham, some pickles, and some onions, some mayonnaise, roll it up and eat it. Like, hey, no bread. I've got to be healthy.
A nice sandwich there.
Yeah.
Homemade.
Yeah. So the anger really, really drove me after that. Like I wouldn't even touch, even to this day, anything that's processed. Like I wouldn't even consider it.
I love that. I mean, listen, I think that that's huge. I appreciate you sharing it because I think that so often people are just overly trusting without questioning, and I think it's fair. And they do know that. And I think if we have dominion over our own lives, and we have the ability to question everything. And I think that that's so great that we live in a country where we actually can question it and not go to jail. So you leverage your right to question it, hold these people accountable, because guess what? It's called economy, supply, demand. If we remove the demand for those products, guess what? Those companies can't stay in business.
And then from there, as I did it, and I probably drove people nuts for a while, hey, you go to this, don't eat that.
Like the new vegan on the block.
You tell someone's organic, wait 5 minutes, they'll tell you.
That's right. Exactly.
So I told people I feel like a Jehovah's Witness at times, knocking on people's door, like, hey, let me look in your cupboards. Yeah. So it was a weird feeling because I've never really been that way.
Yeah.
But I just felt so good.
Right.
And especially the people around me that were close to me, I'm like, I harped them, and I'd send them stuff on Instagram and like, hey, get this. And then I put on this thing, like, I just started doing like 100 push-ups a day.
Yes.
And then I went to 110, 120. I was adding 10 a week. Yeah. And so I drove everybody nuts. I had probably 30 or 40 people doing 100 push-ups a day.
Program, which I think is such a great thing.
Oh, my word. Yeah. And it's funny because I didn't even realize this was going to happen. But almost every one of them, when they got to 30 days, called me and said, hey, I've been doing push-ups for 30 days. Like, what else should I do? Yeah. Every one of them. 100%. I'm like, do squats, do Mary Catherine's, do this, and then, as you dive into this deeper and deeper, like, I don't know, like you start working out, you just feel so much better. Right. Like you just.
Yeah, no, I think it's one of my passions, just because I think to your point, when you see someone make a change in life, like I'll work with some people and like, hey man, I'm down 15 pounds over 2 weeks. I've got this gentleman right now I'm working with, and it's like to see him make maybe 3 mods. He took soda out of his diet. He started to do 200 bodyweight squats and 100 push-ups in the morning as a buy-in to his day. Yeah. And then he does a rucksack walk. And I said, no fried foods. I just kept it really simple. Yeah. And in 2 weeks, he's down 15 pounds. But the look on his face is like, he's got this like new energy about him, new confidence about him. And I love that.
Yeah, like the 100 push-ups a day, and almost everybody did more than 100 as they went too. Right. One guy got up to 200, one guy, they were all progressive. Yeah. And every one of them, when I saw him again, like you could see the difference. Right. Like I tell them, like, you even walk different. Yeah. Like you, like, 100%. Like, totally. Like, it starts to build your confidence. Like you just start to feel good. You do. Especially when you do the diet and that, but it's hard. Everybody's an addict. Everyone's an addict. All the chemicals and drugs they give us, it's hard for them to get off them.
It is. It really is. And I think part of what you've done, even just by just wanting to help other people, is that the one piece of ingredient that people need to make changes from the default to a new habit is some sort of accountability. And if they see you and they're going to see you in a month, they're going to say, hey man, I'm going to do this. And if you don't have accountability, it's just so hard to,
Same day when you finish it.
That's exactly right. Like, just send me a message.
And it's kind of slowed down now, but there's still people doing stuff, but they text me every morning. Like,
right. Like, got it done.
Like my secretary, Kim, best woman in the world, 50 or 60 push-ups, 60 squats every morning. Like by 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning, I'd get a text. Yeah, boom, 60, 60 or 50, 60 or something like that, and it just,
so great. Yeah.
Sorry,
Well,
I kind of went off on it.
No, I mean, I love that I love that topic because I always say that, like, with all due respect, I look at your life as like, okay, you got the physical, you have spiritual or your belief systems, but you also have like your relationship with your wife and your kids, but you also have as a man, you have the business side, which is your ability to create abundance financially for your family and build a financial wall around your family, which gives you freedom of choice. And so when you talk about body, it's like you can have all these visions with your business, you can have visions with your relationship with your wife and your kids, but if you have a devastating health related issue, there is only one thing. And so people they kick that can down the road too far, oftentimes to the point where you're missing out on all of it because you missed the investment here. And so I think that it's worth discussing.
I had a doctor one time, Dr. Charla,
Yeah.
great doctor. I had him for quite a few years. He's
Yeah.
retired, but
Yeah.
one of the things he told me one time, and I didn't take it as advice then, but I use it a lot now. He's like, John, he goes, you're good at business. I go, yeah, I've been lucky. And he goes, treat your body like a business.
That's
I was
good.
like, oh, yeah.
That's good advice, actually.
Spreadsheets out.
Yeah, like, because it's like one of the things that's so true. It's like without data, it's like what's the data? Well, right now I'm looking at, I have this body fat. This is how much visceral fat I have. This is my cholesterol levels. These are all my panel numbers.
That was another thing with Gary Brecka's.
You knew
I did the genetics test. I did the
Yes.
blood test.
Yeah.
You get 72 markers. I started studying that. Like,
Right.
where do I want to be?
Yeah.
Now they're like right on.
I love
Like,
that.
they were kind of on. I'm like, oh, that's not good enough.
Right. And until you have the data, you don't. It's hard to improve if you're not measuring those things. Just like in business, how am I supposed to do that? Now, do you want to do like some sort of all natural store or something with this thing? What's your, like, you've already got that, but
Yeah. So, but I want to grow them. Like, I'm working on getting more and more products, more and more stuff. So it's going to be.
Okay.
So basically, the motto of the store is they have what you need.
Yeah.
No, sorry, they have what you want. We have what you need. So basically, when it's all said and done, it'll be a fairly small store.
Yeah.
But it'll be everything you need. It's everything healthy, everything that you need for a meal.
Yeah.
And go from there.
And then keep it on the health side. So you're going to start to look at partnering or having product distribution partnerships that add value to that and that.
Yeah, and do as much as we can ourselves.
And that, yeah. Okay, nice.
Yeah, we just started melting down, rendering beef fat for
Oh,
tallow.
okay.
Started doing that.
Yeah, to cook with beef tallow. Okay, all right, very good. Okay,
Trying to perfect that. Yeah.
Right, that
Plus, you can make other products with that.
Right.
Lotions and stuff.
yeah, I started doing this. My wife's like, she had it for herself, and now I think that's what it is. It's like a little canister. Is beef tallow. I just put I put it all over my face, and it's like when I go to sleep, it's like I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's
The
better.
best thing for you. And again, I feel like talking to some people, they laugh at me and this and that, like, oh, you do what? And like, no, dude, it's the best thing for you. Like, but it's fat. Like, I know, but I put worse things on my face.
So one of the things that I think, like, with all the stuff that you've been able to accomplish, like you still own the mulch company, I assume, and now you have this other side business that you're continuing to develop based on your passion and what you've experienced. Like, what do you think would be, like, if you had some younger entrepreneur trying to be successful, would you have like one or two nuggets or suggestions for them?
I guess my biggest thing that I tell people is find your passion.
Yeah.
And I've had many over the years,
Yeah.
and I've dove right into them. And,
Got it.
like, to the point, like, you don't even care if you make money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that's your passion,
Yeah.
you can make money with that passion.
100%.
And just don't think about the money,
Yeah.
because the money will
Yeah.
come.
It will.
Don't worry about the money. Don't dwell on the money. Like, just
Right.
let it happen.
Yeah.
I wanted a successful business. That was my only goal. Like, that would have been 3 or 4 trucks, and
Right.
that's what I was still doing.
Right.
That'd have been fine.
Right.
I just wanted to be successful,
Yeah.
and have good employees and treat them right. And
Right.
like, that was what I saw as success,
gotcha.
not what this abortion I built.
Yeah. But so because that's interesting. I think one of the things that's important too is like the way the way you build a company is as important as building a company. And so there's a lot of people that have built companies, but stepped on people, burnt bridges the whole way up. And I think that some of the things that you're describing, like hiring people as they're part of your family, bringing them in long term, creating relationships, treating your employees with respect and dignity, and giving them opportunity to expand and grow themselves. And tell me a little bit about that.
Well, one thing I do now, I struggled with that for a long time, because, I always pick that hardest worker.
Yeah.
Like, you can be the manager. No.
Right.
That didn't work well. I went through a lot of people early on. You end up doing everything yourself anyways. I pay this person X amount of dollars, give them a vehicle, give them all the shit they need, and then at the end of the day, you're doing it all anyways. I've had some great people, and I do now. I have some super nice people, but my business model now is, I have my original companies. I probably have 4 or 5 that's just mine.
Yeah.
But when I buy a company now, I make somebody part owner.
Got it.
Yeah. So my bean counter, my controller, Bill, I give him 10%.
Yeah.
And then I start that person out at 5 or 10%.
Got it.
And they work their way up to 39.
Uh-huh.
And then I stay 51. And then that's how it kind of goes up through, and you build it up. So if you buy a business, they grow that up to 39. And then hopefully someday, we always think of like a 10-year probably lifespan. Now you buy my 51% out.
Right.
My goal is to get that 51% be worth what the company was I bought it for.
Right.
They help pay for it.
Right.
And then
you get that. It's a great leverage. It's a great way to leverage your expertise too. Yeah, because you have all this expertise, but yet you only have so much time, and you can't just live at one company because you'd have nothing left, right? So you're able to.
See, like I retired when I was 40. We had a party and everything, So I was like, I'm done. And I wasn't retiring like selling the business, but I hired someone to run it.
Yeah, I did CEO.
Yeah, and like tried that whole thing, and it didn't last. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Probably picked the wrong person, or I wasn't ready to let it go. I'm not sure what happened, but so I jumped back into it, and then I went probably another 8 years.
Yeah.
Balls to the wall.
Yeah.
And then said, all right, I'm going to cut back. And I got rid of some things. I have 48 or so, probably 6 years ago.
Okay.
6, 7. I was like, all right, I'm going to cut back. And I got rid of some stuff and just kind of narrowed it down to what worked and was managed well, and, trying to free some stuff up. And
100%.
Yeah. And then that's when I started buying more and more businesses
and leveraging. Yeah. No, it is interesting, because I think there's a lot of businesses that the demographic is one of like not really thinking a lot about an exit strategy, but yet, and most don't have them. So there's an opportunity for someone to come in to these businesses. At least now the business is sellable, and then you can actually leverage all the experience of others to be able to build it to where it really could and should be.
Yeah, so we basically come up with a business model that went into someone that didn't have an exit strategy and worked with them with it.
Got it.
We'll pay X amount. You want to finance this much. Keep you as owners if you want, or however that's structured, however you want.
Right.
Find that person that wants to own it.
Yeah.
The bean counter takes care of that stuff.
The numbers game. Yeah. And then you have
pretty good. It has worked very well.
Great. Well, I mean, I think
because one thing, you get to a certain point in your life or your career where it's lonely on top. Everybody says, but it is.
It is.
You're doing everything, every decision, everything, and it's nice to bounce stuff off other people. Definitely. But you also find someone. Again, it goes back to passion. Like this is their passion,
right? And you're helping, and then being able to help another person achieve the dream that they have. Yeah, make them, and then just go along with the ride and add value where you can. I think that's a great.
And I'll be honest with you, a lot of times I don't have to give much. We meet once in a while. We talk about a lot of stuff, but I just let them do their thing. I want them to own out, and I'm like that guy behind the scenes. Like some people know that I'm part of it, some don't. Another thing I always said too is it's kind of a privilege or an honor to me if someone comes and says, "Hey, will you buy my business?" Like, I've seen what you've done.
100%.
Like, will you buy my business? Yeah. And a lot of times too is we don't change the name.
Yeah.
And that means a lot to a lot of people when they started that business. And yeah, so, you keep that name on it. I don't want my name out there. Like, I don't care. Nobody knows who I am.
Right.
I love it. Everybody's heard my name, but nobody knows who I am.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, never met you until today, but that's I love that aspect of being able to help entrepreneurs achieve what they want, become business owners, entrepreneurs. Even the case like where they didn't think they could, or but sometimes you can see skills in someone, and fear holds them back. It's like you could do this, but sometimes you gotta risk it. Like, and how do you identify business partners?
I
And
guess I don't know if it's a gift or what. I feel like people that work hard know people that work hard.
got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of them have been people that have worked for me,
Okay.
so it's like I started out actually, kind of the whole thing started at one point, driving truck and having all these trucks. I mean, we were outlaws.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then, you get to a certain size in your business, like, we probably should do things legal.
Yeah.
Well, I lost a lot of my good guys.
Right.
Like
you're changing.
like I'm going to cut your pay in half. You know what I mean? But I have to be legal. Now it's a big liability. Now I have something to protect.
Correct.
And so some of them guys, I actually went to and said, "Do you want a truck?" So I financed them a truck.
Got it.
They come haul for us. So we did that for a while. We still do some of that now.
Right.
We went from 35 trucks to 3 trucks.
Wow.
Yeah. So
cool.
yeah. So now, you put some people, you get them, now they're doing their thing. Nothing I love more than going by someone's house and seeing, their kids out there helping them wash it, or, and the kids get older, they're greasing it. It's kind of builds that just entrepreneurial.
Yeah, and the
feeling
pride of working for yourself. I mean, you're not, no one's. I don't have to. I'm working for myself. I own this truck. Like that is, we're doing it.
We had their back all the way. You know what I mean? Some of them slipped a little bit. We'd help them. Some of them it didn't work. You got to say, hey,
everyone can make it.
They get a little money. Like, oh, geez, I'm gonna go buy a 4-wheeler. I'm gonna go buy a snowmobile. Next thing you know, it's like, geez, you got a yard full of stuff here, but your truck hasn't moved in a week.
That's right.
That training's not gonna last forever.
Sorry, but you got to reinvest that money sometimes, pal. Yeah, no, it's that's so true. Yeah. Well, you built trucks, mulch farms, stores, healthy living stores.
We're actually getting ready to move one into Bangor.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
right where Bangor Truck used to be. We just got approval from the city.
Okay.
It wasn't bad, actually. I was getting ready to.
They're not. Let's just say they're not known as.
Well, we timed it right when they're apparently moving the town office, or city hall.
Okay.
I guess they call it.
Yeah. They had a big project. They're moving. Yeah.
So that delayed us a couple of weeks, but 2 weeks we'll be in there starting to put it together. Great. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really am. To get, I guess, because you get old, you got to wear glasses. So if I go to, like, let's say Tiller or Rye or Natural Living Store or Whole Foods, I have to bring my glasses because I have to read, because not everything in there is healthy.
I agree.
I want to make a store where you don't need.
Yeah, initially it was, but then as they grew, let's open the kimono a little and allow.
20-30% of that stuff in there is actually the stuff that I would put in my store.
Got it.
So I have to read labels.
And I'm excited, actually, as a consumer of that space. I'm excited for that to be an option locally, because it's really difficult to find things.
So then from Bangor, we're gonna probably hit Waterville, Augusta, work our way down through, and see how they go. I mean, get some healthy stuff out there for people. And I say in my social media too, I give someone like Baja Gold Salt. Like, I don't care if you buy it from me or not.
Right.
Buy it. Yeah. I'm cheaper.
The product.
I'm cheaper, but if you want to get it on Amazon and get it in 3 days or 1 day, depends on where you live, like, just get it and start using it. Like, don't wait. Get mine the next time if I'm, like, there's certain things, like, I don't care. Like, I just want people, for me, it's still that anger. Like the food companies and the drug companies, like, let's get rid of them. Like, just get healthy and just feel good. Like
100%.
It's like Walking Dead out there. You watch people.
It is lethargic on all kinds of SSRIs or you have a medication stacked on a medication because of the side effects of that. It's like,
so I had 5 medications for my heart attack. And now it's none.
I mean, listen, you're a walking testimonial of how that, I'm not no meds.
Blood pressure. Last time I checked, it was
statins and all that.
last week was statins. was it? 117 over 76.
Beautiful. That's great.
2 blood pressure meds.
Yeah.
Before my heart attack.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, man. That's and I love you sharing that success, and yeah, that's good stuff. I love it. So I guess in closing, what would you like? I know you're a modest, humble guy, but when people talk about you years from now, what do you want the headline of the story? What do you want? What do you want people to think about your?
Well, I did have someone ask me one time, say one word that describes you.
Yeah, yeah.
It took me a second, but I said memorable.
Ah, okay.
That's good or bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I don't coddle people. Like
Yeah.
I'm more of a tough love guy.
Yeah.
I'll help you, but there's
You need to step up and
yeah, you gotta
I like that because I'm similar. It's like I'll walk, you walk, I'll walk.
Yeah.
But if you're stagnant, I'm not dragging you up the mountain.
Exactly, yeah.
Like I am too busy for that shit.
Yeah. Poof, headstone.
Yeah.
That's a good question. We should have given you that one like a couple days ago. I could have done that thinking about that one.
So beef. So beef. I don't know what I'd say. I was thinking, well, I don't know what I'd say yet either. So but yeah, no,
One thing I did, someone called me after my heart attack, and it was someone that I didn't expect to hear from. And they're just like, wow, you'd have left a hole in this community. Like you've done so much for this community, and so many people, rely on not so much me, but from what I've built.
The things you built.
Yeah, I never say like like I have some really great positions in Dover, Foxcroft, Maine. People make a lot of money and are doing well because of what I built, and I'm proud of that.
That's great. Yeah, there's a lot of livelihoods. That's what's interesting about entrepreneur. It's not like it's like there's a lot of families that get that have a livelihood, that have a passion for doing all these different things, and someone has to create that. Entrepreneurs are doing that across North America, and I love that we're still able to do that today.
If I'd say anything, I'd say probably like he made a difference.
Got it.
That's kind of and again, it's not fluffy.
No.
It's
but it's
at the end of the day, I feel like maybe I did it. You know what I mean? Like I did it.
Yeah.
And I still do it every day. Like
that's right. You're still in the game.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, that's a whole.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to just relax.
Retirement for me is like it's just doing the things that you love to do. But that doesn't mean stopping. It doesn't mean hanging it up. I'm
gonna go down signing like some deal.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
Friggin' we did it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm gonna die happy.
Because I love that. I love doing it.
A buddy of mine, same way. Steve McGee. He goes, "We're deal junkies. We can't help it."
Yeah.
Another thing that drives me too is people say you can't do something.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of money doing stuff that people say you can't do.
Yes. That's so true.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a motivator.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
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 But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for watching and listening in. American Legacy is a production of Perfect Fit USA. Copyright 2025 by Perfect Fit USA. To learn more about Perfect Fit and the Perfect Fit family of companies, please visit perfectfitusa.com.